efficiently itemize pure armor, and we'll need to see what PerkZ has ready for his Talon in the mid lane.
Okay, well, we've seen Jason to Talon a couple of times. Let's see if PerkZ ends up taking it. No, the Cinder is still available, so there's a contemplation here. 5 seconds ticking. What do they take?
Ooh. I think you can play everything that he covered. You can go Zilean if you just want to survive the burst. If you want to be safe, like this teamfight comp, it's dirty, man. Look at what G2 can do in teamfights around objectives. Yeah. Giants, they have to pick people off. Yeah, the body slam engage is nice, but if you engage anywhere near 100% perfection, you're gonna get grilled. So there's picks for Giants, but there's pure teamfight prowess against this Talon. Like, he jumps somebody with a cocoon, revive, and then the CC comes out.
Seems like it's going to be hard to play, and for Giants, the execution is going to be crucial. I mean, it's never easy when you're playing off against G2 eSports.
If there's ever a game where they need to snowball the lanes, get ahead, and play the pressure game, you know, mobilize that Talon, put him on the side lanes with the Ignite, hopping over every single wall. That is the goal for Giants.
Well, we've seen Knight try to do that several times, and it's yet to bear fruit. Giants struggling here, sitting in the last place in Group A. Rough for them, especially with the ascension of Roccat, but if they can show any performance against this G2 squad, there's still hope for them.
Is there?
I don't know, man. If they could beat G2, I feel like they could probably handle the promotion.
That's true. I think that actually, I take it back. I think you're right there. Yeah, if they beat G2, there's definitely hope for Giants.
I don't often have good color points, Scruppo, but every now and again something shines through.
I just heard hope in Giants and like, hang on. But no, definitely there.
I'm the devil's advocate. That's what I do. All right, so Giants, G2 eSports. It is first versus last in Group A, but can Giants find something here if they can get some picks early on? We'll find out. Or will G2 grind them into dust? We'll find out once again as we take to the rift. But don't forget, hop on Twitter, hashtag G2win, hashtag GIA win, to give us your votes. We'll tally those up, show them off later in game. Here we go, and we're loaded. We're locked. Let's get onto the rift already.
I'm going to keep my eyes on Memento, on that Elise pick. First pick for Giants here. A lot of importance put on that pick from the Giants side. Bozark said, you know what, Memento, you're the boy, you're the man, you're going to take it home. What can he do in this pick? And will his lanes help him?
Yeah, that is always the question as we get underway. Not to track where he goes to start things off. Don't expect any shenanigans, but G2 are stacking firm in the mid lane.
What is this play? This is to punish an invade, like from a delay point of view. This is really weird. The timing.
Giants are saying, where are they right now? Memento, he's going to have a whole horde of G2 members coming for him.
Seems obviously specific.
Uh-oh. Exhaust is on. There's the bomb. Oh, I think Memento's running out of time. He has to flash, but he's not getting out of there. That's first blood.
All right, my eyes were on Memento, and so were G2's eyes. That was very poorly played. If you're going to flash, flash a wall. If you're going to flash, do it immediately. I love the early exhaust. This is something Yellowstar used to do very often on invades as well. I think when he was playing, I think when it was during the TSM era, he would just play exhaust Braum and just flash closely to exhaust somebody. They would match the flash but be slowed, and then you can follow up with any projectile, and it worked.
Easy peasy.
Notice how Trick was holding his Q. I think that exhaust just guaranteed the first spot right there.
Yep. Still slows the movement speed. Even though it was nerfed on the patch, still useful for those supports. Let's see what Giants do to try and recover from that. There's a ward inside their map on the jungle. It's going to be spotting out Flaxxish. Memento's going to be on the bottom side, though, or on the Raptor camps, getting some help from Knight.
So we see two variations on Elise. There's the Raptor start without help, and then there's the Raptor start with help. So that ward itself doesn't really give or punish Giants too much. It just solidifies the knowledge of G2 that he's starting Raptors. Obviously, Knight knowing that is just going to leash for him. So he gets a slightly faster jungle clear, but Trick should always be aware where the enemy jungler is. Same story though for the Giants lane. Because they got a deep ward on Grump, they knew Trick started on that red buff.
Mithy taking a lot of poke down on the bottom side, but we don't expect this one to really push too far in either direction.
Yeah, the trick is to take poke and then take auto attack, so the minions change aggro. And it's a trickle-down effect, but basically it means whenever you get auto-attacked in lane yourself as a support, the enemies will push faster. Because your minions will be busy auto-attacking the enemy champions, but their minions will be busy attacking your minions. Therefore, the wave pushes faster, and you can actually comfortably fight on the turret. Now, if you ever want to fight against that, poke with spells, not with auto-attacks, because only auto-attacks draw minion aggro.
Well, all right, dropping some knowledge bombs already. Speaking of dropping bombs, Perk still keeps throwing them out in the mid lane. Up against Knight, he's taking him down to half health, and Knight's somebody we do want to keep an eye on as well. We talked about Memento, but Knight on this Talon has been doing quite a lot to make things happen as Expect goes in and throws down the ward.
Yeah, really good ward placement there from Expect. Leveraging push into D-Vision. He knows that Elise wasn't there, but this adaptation from Memento also really smart. Expect doesn't see Elise right now, he should just back out. He should know that this guy can actually be behind him.
Oh, he's still got his flash. He might need to use it. There's the body slam in, and there he goes. Harpoon's on.
Insanely good game read, but it still connects.
Yeah, they got them on the cocoon, and Expect he's overheated right now, and he might be in trouble. PerkZ is scrambling to come up, throws on some time bombs. He gets a double, and Expect is still trying to climb away, repel in and out. There's a body slam come off cooldown. Knight manages to secure the kill.
Yeah, obviously Expect slightly turned around right there. Ooh, Sonic boom goes wide. That is
close.
That was really nice reaction from Expect, because the second Gragas goes aggro, he knows the jungler's coming, and he knew he wasn't coming from River, so he adapted to the pathing from Elise to go into River there and get help from the pushing PerkZ. So that was all good, but the problem was that max range cocoon still connected.
It's a game of inches, but this is what we talked about. Memento needing to show up early, needing to help get some of his laners ahead, and even getting the kill on Knight. I mean, that seems to have gone Giants' way well, despite the fact that they're down in gold.
Yeah, really fascinating opening here. Trick is obviously a really great pathing jungler. Putting Lulix in the shadows, look at it here. He loses a member on his team, but he takes away the wolves and the enemy blue buff that was still up. Obviously, Memento skipped that camp here and is getting punished for it very hard.
Yep, blue gets taken away. He sees just time. Whoa, Flaxxish followed through. Knight's back again. Let's see if Trick can get out of here. Double bomb. In goes Knight once again. He burns Flash, he burns Ignite, and he's not going to get the kill, but maybe Flaxxish can get something back. Oh boy, this is a close one. Trick and Flaxxish getting revenge.
Trick was waiting for a cooldown there at the very end. Oh, I was so close. A couple of really nice flashes there to really lock him down. Body slam flash from Flaxxish was on point, but there just wasn't quite enough damage here. I like how Knight was avoiding the second bomb as well. But in the end, this works out very well. The greedy invade from Trick gets punished only with a 1-for-1, and works out very well.
Oh yeah, and there's been a lot of action on this map, but you know, well, I guess it's going to keep on happening as Hustlin takes a little bit of damage before they're looking to dish it back. I want to check in on the top lane one more time, because we don't always see these guys getting involved as early and Expect. He's honestly gotten a lot more attention these days.
Yeah, we're in week 9 of the LCS, which is actually a great moment to look at some trends. So we looked a little bit at weeks 1 and 4. What was Expect doing? You know, jungle proximity, it kind of stayed the same over time. But the problem is the opposing junglers are looking at Expect a lot more, because while teams are finding it very difficult to find a breach in the armor of G2 eSports, they're just trying to get Expect. You know, everybody sometimes mentions like weaker Link. That doesn't mean this guy's a bad player. But a lot of teams look to him to punish him. That's why they went top lane very often with that jungle pressure. Same happened this match. Memento was there very early. Trick only reacted.
Yep. Trick this time, though, he's going proactively, but he might not find Flaxxish is sitting flashless underneath his tower, but perhaps if he pushes himself out, it could be trouble. Oh, he's going to walk forward.
That's actually a really good pathing there from Trick again. So he needs to bait Flaxxish to use the double buffs for a body slam. Is Flaxxish aware, however?
He's going to body slam in already, so now it's on cooldown. Trick is there. He does not have Dragon's Rage kick. It's going to be Flaxxish slowly burning away. Trick claims the kill.
And he gets his double buffs back. That was really smart. He moves in as if he's going for the counter gank, but obviously when the wave bounces, he leaves Flaxxish completely clueless. And then we have to look at his opponent rather. What is Memento doing during all this time?
Yeah, Memento is a little bit busy.
Not dying.
Yeah, not dying, which is good. That's always a good thing, but still. Buff transfer complete for Trick, and he's been picking up every kill on this game for the G2 squad, and looks like he's looking for more.
Yeah, he's going for the impossible. Trying to gank a Talon in 2017. Very hard.
See if he can do it. Nope. Knight's walking it out.
This guy can jump over literally every wall in the game.
No summoners, no problems. Although he is stopped up by the bombs of PerkZ. He's definitely having a field day on this farm game, but Knight's the one who picked up a kill early on. Let's see if Knight can keep it up. I mean, this is always hard for Giants. Oh, wow, he just ulted on in.
He just wants to reset. He knows at least the bombs are still in cooldown. And that is the trade pattern for Zilean. If Zilean knows the enemy jungler isn't close by, he can use all his cooldowns. He doesn't need to save that speed up for himself. He can just slow down the enemy laner and then get the double bomb on him. So that's well played by PerkZ, gets the pressure out. And if you don't let a Talon push, he can never roam. And that's exactly what PerkZ wants to do here. And now he's pushing in the counter wave.
Yeah. Keeping Knight locked up. You don't have to keep him killless since, well, it's a tick box you can't always check, but sometimes you can just keep him locked up as far under tower. Now that we have level 6s starting to come across the board, we see the ability for PerkZ to start saving some lives if we have some more skirmishes.
This is every mid laner's dream right here. Walk by blue buff, 3 autos, it's done. Go to base, or you just go back to the mid lane. PerkZ not really needing to base with that blasting wand already in his inventory.
Yeah, and honestly, Knight, even though he's been locked up under base himself, or locked up under tower, I should say, he's not had too hard of a time at least finding some action. And the last couple of weeks, we've seen an improvement from him overall.
And it seems like Giants really started with a plan in the early game. Everything was set on that top lane gank, and Memento's pathing has been really thrown off here, and he's so desperate looking for an answer. grouping up in River now, taking the very standard gank locations. Doesn't really work against a team like G2.
Yeah. It's a little bit difficult sometimes when you're playing off against a team that just has such stellar map awareness, map control. Just can't do a whole lot, but take a look at Knight's numbers again. He has been improving over the last couple weeks.
Yeah, so this is the upwards trend. Again, week 9, look at some trends. Week 1 and 4, Knight was struggling a little bit. He was one of the standout players in last summer. That a lot of people were looking for Knight to really carry his Giants lineup, but he couldn't really do it. Obviously playing with new teammates again, but his numbers definitely went up. So he's slightly trending upwards, but he's going up against PerkZ, one of the more consistent players, and honestly strong laners, if not the best mid laner in EU LCS right now.
Yeah, and you're seeing that kind of reflected in the farm differential, despite the fact that Knight got a kill early on. PerkZ has not had too much trouble evading him, avoiding him, and you know he has a pretty big CS lead that's just above 20. Expect, meanwhile, once again, invading into the jungle of Memento as Trick is about to find the spider. Sonic Wave is dodged.
And again, look how they're working together. On a single screen, you could almost see the Zilean, Rumble, and Elise all together, even though they're in the opposing jungler, where they should be fighting against more opposition from Giants. And again, this double bomb coordinated very well from PerkZ here.
Oh yeah, let's check in bottom lane though, because they continue to trade back and forth. It's not a whole lot of damage. Zven and Mithy though are working like a well-oiled machine against HeaQ and Hustlin.
Yeah, playing the losing push matchup, but still being up in CS. Just Zven thinks Trick hasn't visited it once. Has just been mid and top here, and again, every time the poke comes out in the mid lane, Trick can just join and add more to the pressure, and now we're in all-in moments.
They grab HeaQ, he has to heal and flash his way out, but Hustlin is gonna go down to Zven.
Yeah, he exhausts his support after most of the damage has been done, and again, this is the power spike. If you cannot capitalize on the poke hard enough on the side of Giants, then level 6, this Ashe Nautilus lane will get access to 2 more hard crowd control effects, whereas Karma gets absolutely nothing from leveling up here, and now G2 are just slowly taking the map.
Yeah, Memento, he's being forced out of his own jungle, evicted as it were, and G2, they can start to get that vision control, start to rotate around and play the game exactly the way they want to. Everywhere on the map seems to be them pushing in.
Yeah, and this is where Giants get a little scared, and they're going to start forcing more plays that may backfire and just make the snowball into an avalanche, because they need to find something. They're playing an early game comp that requires picks and snowballs to win, because late game team fighting, the power from the Zilean is just monstrous. You completely deny a Talon in team fights. Look at it again, right here, they're both level 6. They use Q on minion wave for what? And then they don't even block the Q for your AD carry. HeaQ steps back in, but there's nothing he can do against an exhaust already used on Mithy, of all people.
Yeah, not a whole lot to do, and this is just G2's bottom lane kind of outclassing. Despite some of the criticism that you could have had for Mithy over the several weeks, honestly, still looking a lot better than the Giants' bot lane at the moment.
Yeah, it is hard to break open this lane, especially considering how well Zven CS is under turret. This guy is a monster when it comes to just not missing easy minions. And it sounds like an easy thing to say. And again, PerkZ, yeah, he's just really outplaying Knight every single time. It's really hard to land those bombs consecutively. It's not as easy as PerkZ is making it look.
Yeah, it's always a nice thing, though, when you're making something difficult look easy. Zven solo under tower, or is he? Because Trick is waiting in the wings. There's a control ward down there to spot any push, any counter push. Memento's there as well, but you can see pings flying from G2. They want to make something happen.
Yeah, I can see what G2 were thinking. They were going to send in Mithy as the bait, but then PerkZ would back him up, and then they would pincer with Trick here. But they found out Memento's waiting there anyway, so just going to go for the stand and play, group up, get river control, push into the Fire Dragon. That is definitely a play they can make.
Yep. Should be able to do it too. Still pretty hefty gold lead for this team. 3,000 plus at 11.5 minutes, and if they get an Infernal too, it really just starts the snowball going.
Yeah, they just use the scrying plant, then they use the hawk shot, then there's a couple of wards. It is so hard for Giants to deny any information, and G2 as a team are just much better at processing and using information for their advantage.
This is the coordination that G2 can showcase. Now PerkZ does get caught up by Memento. He throws down one bomb, it goes wide. He's able to take the blast cone though right into the dragon pit.
And that's all he has to do, even if he takes damage. Denying the blast cone means that if Memento wants to steal this dragon, he has to flash in and he can no longer repel out.
Will he commit to it?
Or has to face check into the river.
Oh boy, this is tense. G2, they're backing off actually. Dragon's not reset, teleport spent.
You get the TP, so it's worth trading. Smite.
They can do it. He does get the smite down. Memento. Giants needed that one. Let's see if they can live through the fight. HeaQ gets nailed by the Ashe arrow. Mithy pulls him in. Hustlin, the depth charge is going to knock him up. HeaQ's down. Looks like Giants, they got the Drake, but they're going to pay for it with 2 lives.
Yeah, expect actually teleported in to join this fight here. So that is maybe the only communication error, unless Giants push through, because they are unaware that Expect is in the wings. They find him now in the jungle. I really like that set of decisions that G2 made there. They start the dragon, they back off when the teleport comes, they assess the situation and say, you know what, it's okay to go for a steal, because we can't get punished too hard. Gragas is not in the pristine flanking location. Then Giants back off to the left side, and G2, they open up on the weak side of the pincer, and there's actually, I was about to say they'd Expect walk down, but it's the second teleport right now, really working out for G2. accelerating that first turret kill.
Yep, they got the doubles, using them, and that is another tower taken down for G2, extending that gold lead. 5,500 now on the mark, and let's take a look at the play that started this Dragon.
Yeah, so this Gragas comes down, G2 go back in for the steal, they back off, and it's like, okay, Giants is disengaging. Let's send out the arrow on the weak side of the flank. Look at Mithy, not tunneling on HeaQ. They know both these guys are flashless, so they just commit. And it's a really good punish.
Oh, speaking of punish, Memento, he was trying for a cheeky steal, but he has to exit stage right, and Expect is hunting him down. The equalizer burning and burning and burning, and Mithy's right there, forcing the flash, but Expect is right at his back.
This is just Giants grasping at straws. Every move they make, G2's is ready for him. It's so easy to predict at one point because there's just so much pressure on Giants. And if they want anything, they have to move into the enemy jungle. And if they're not fast enough, not coordinated enough, or they don't have the backup, they'll just die and use their summoners.
Yeah, I mean, it's kudos to Giants for trying to make the plays, but against G2, you just can't get away with it nearly as often. It's 2 to 7 in kills, a couple picked up for the Giants squad, but not nearly enough on the map.
Yeah, defensive traps come out, but this is early, man. To start trapping your own jungle at 14 minutes in the game, that's when you know you're suffering. And every time, Trick and Mithy working together. Earlier it was Trick and Expect with the backup from PerkZ. You know, these guys never make a move alone. That is something to watch out for. When some guy's moving in, who is peeling from their lane to just offer assistance in case something goes wrong.
And they never seem to stop making moves either. This is the impressive thing about G2. They've never let up on the pressure. They've not allowed Giants to try and get back into it. And you know, Giants playing with this early game pick comp and not given an opportunity.
Yeah, Zven just pushed out the bottom lane as far as he could. That's now slow pushing into Giants, so he moved over to the mid lane. Tag team. It looks like they're not looking to set up a massive rotation top because there's too many wave clear there, too many members from Giants. So they're just gonna play 1-3-1 if PerkZ goes side lane here. Zilean can actually play decently on the side lane since he is running that teleport.
It's fast enough, he's got the damage as well, and honestly PerkZ is just playing on another level this game. G2 showcasing superior macro, superior mechanics across the board. It's only 15 minutes in. We usually don't call games foregone conclusions, but G2 are well on their way.
Yeah, if you're 6,000 ahead, that's just so much, man.
Only giving up 2 kills, no towers yet. Keeping the map pretty clean right now. A lot of Giants vision invested in their own topside jungle, but that's about all they've had the gold for.
Yeah, and Trick is just always matching the opposing pressure. Just helping wherever it needs to be. Now they push the mid, and again, this is this concept of like transferring pressure from one side to the other side. You push up a lane, you don't try and win your lane. You just go help other lanes instead. Yep. They push up mid, they run top right here. Giants, they're looking for a reaction mid, but then PerkZ is here because he came from the bottom lane. This is a double pressure transfer that gets more people on the side of the map, top side for G2.
Yep, keep squeezing Giants out of their own map. Oh, Mithy is able to take the express route out, even though he got nailed by the cocoon. Zven and Expect finish off top tower. That is a clean 3 now for Giants, or for G2, I should say, and it's 16 minutes in the game.
Yeah, it's a super fun Nautilus mechanic. If you start the animation, no matter what happens, it'll still finish. You can actually get out of Blitzcrank hooks with that dredge line as well, if you time it right. Korean supports are actually fantastic at doing that. If you watch some Korean solo queue, Mad Life, Mata, they were pretty consistent at doing it in those matchups, and it's so annoying for like Blitzcrank players to even do that.
Yeah, well, you know Mithy's been watching, that's for sure.
Yep.
Definitely feeling pretty at home on this Nautilus support Knight, still hunting around, looking for anything, but honestly, even the squishy members on this G2 squad are slippery enough to get out of harm's way, and PerkZ is pushing solo in the mid.
But it is really just kind of a textbook on how do I macro 101. You just constantly move from one lane to the other. It started with PerkZ pushing out bot lane, but he wasn't safe, right? So Trick went to help PerkZ. Then Trick pushes, leaves, because he can just go to mid into top side. PerkZ pushes out once he's safe. He takes over the mid lane duty that Zven and Mithy started because they pushed out while they went top. They helped on top side, so Mithy invaded for vision, which meant eventually Trick and Expect, and this is still the same Trick that was earlier bottom lane, we're now hitting top lane turret.
Yeah, and Trick was really just honestly making massive plays early on, but he hasn't stopped, he hasn't let up the pressure, despite the fact that he hasn't been able to pick up any more kills for himself. Still a handful of assists. Hustlin just desperately trying to free up some vision here, and Giants desperately trying to find a play on the map, but you can see them running around like headless chickens at the moment.
Yeah, they're keeping the map as tiny as they can because they can only fill it with so many wards before getting picked off. But that means that G2 can always go into 1-3-1, start pressuring, and then do the same concept over and over. Right now, they're looking just to isolate the next objective, and that is the Ocean Drake.
Should be able to get it. 45 seconds still remaining before that becomes the reality, but still a big lead for G2 right now. Let's see if Giants can make moves up top.
Yeah, that is the reaction. They know the Ocean spawning in 35. They know Expect is trying to hold that, and maybe they're praying for a third kill and getting Expect, but Expect seems hang close. Maybe he's going to ulti for wave clear. Yeah, he just wants to stall. It's going to buy them like 10 seconds, but it's enough to maybe take the Ocean for free or cross map onto turrets.
Maybe they can do it. PerkZ has got some minions of his own leading into tier 2 right now in the mid. And G2 recognizing that are going to go ahead and ping for it. Should be able to finish the job, even though Memento and HeaQ are here to finish off a tower. It's much needed gold for these guys, but they're trading an inner just for their first, if they can finish it.
The only play that Giants could make on the map, and they found it, so that was kudos to them. G2, they obviously weren't going to wait for this ocean to spawn, so they tried to play for turrets, but Giants successfully hold, so in essence, it is a bit of a win for Giants.
Get a little bit of gold for themselves, and you can see disparity in items across the board. HeaQ actually having gone for the Infinity Edge early on that Caitlyn build. That's an old one.
Yeah, he's too far behind. He feels like he just needs some power on the first few shots. I hope they stick, because he won't be alive long enough anyways.
Okay, Dragon smited away. G2 were able to do it. Giants couldn't see it, but they knew it happened. Pretty obvious at this point. Let's see where G2 go next. Still a lot of pings for Giants. They are trying to hang firm.
Yeah, G2's probably going to play pretty slow. Zven might have to do some summoners here if Giants push through, because Mithy's sightstone is empty. Whenever this guy's sightstone is empty, it's very hard for G2 to make that play that they just did. They can rely on Trick here. Is he actually going to 1v1 Knight?
Oh boy, Knight's going to hop the wall. Trick's going to follow him in. Shadow Assault. It's more like a Shadow Escape, but is it going to be enough to kick? And Trick picks it up.
That is just dirty, because Trick didn't even perfectly follow the Talon. He popped his Q and ended in the middle of the wall, which means the game pushes you out in any direction. So you had to kind of waste an extra auto attack, but he still found the perfect combo right there. That is really good awareness of his damage.
Oh, yes, indeed. Despite the physics of it, he made it work. G2, they're knocking down that inner tower. It is 4-1 on towers this game. 8-2 in kills, just shy of 20 minutes. PerkZ is going to take an ace in the hole, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, playing Elise into the Talon, it's quite tricky knowing when to follow up a Q, because his leap over walls is actually quite slow from Talon. It's not like a flash. You need to wait for him to completely finish that animation, and then you can follow him a Q and land right next to them. Otherwise, you may get pushed to a side, because if you land in the wall, the game will always put you outside of it.
Well, Trick is not done yet. He's still hunting as he starts his back away. We'll see if he goes in to dive on Memento. I don't think so. G2 are going to let off the pressure for just a second. Go back, spend some of that hard-earned gold.
Yeah, they're filling the enemy jungle with control wards because their sightstone is still empty. Mithy still hasn't put or found a moment to base here, because the pressure is just, it seems too easy for G2 to follow up.
Oh, they're going to try to make the play. Flaxxish barrels Mithy back, and now with Knight there at his back, let's see if they can get the play. Oh, he misses on the hook, and he burned his flash already. Knight finds a second.
7.5 power. We just moved that wall ever so slightly to the right, threw Mithy off.
Unlucky, man.
Unlucky.
I mean, terrain, this is an important thing, this game. Terrain is important to remember.
Terrain is important. No, we actually did not move the wall. Mithy is just a tad unlucky. Here it is again. Look at what he does. He pops the Q, doesn't pop it instantly. See, he pops it and ends up in the middle of that tree, and the game pushes him to the left side. That's why you have to path around. But then here, like, red buff kick into auto. Love seeing that play from Trick. Quite easy. And when your jungler can comfortably 1v1 the enemy mid laner, you're in a state of the game where you can take it slow.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, he's only got the Warrior enchant really for damage. Everything else he's been building is defensive, but he's just so far ahead right now. Level 13 to the 11 of his counterpart.
Yeah, he's out-leveling the enemy mid laner as jungle.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And this is after the experience nerfs that we had earlier, you know, in the season. If this was very much at the start of the season, maybe junglers were doing that. Yeah, they were fast clearing, starting their second buff at like level 6, sometimes 7 if they were getting some ganks off. It was a little bit over the top.
Yeah. To be fair, he's got a Zilean on his team. That helps a bit.
That is true. If PerkZ actually did the funnel, though, it's no longer the old school free-win Zilean.
Yep. Well, the way PerkZ is playing, it's starting to look that way. 40K to 31.5 right now in gold. G2, they've got bags and bags of money. And the real question now is, do they try to force the dance around the Baron, see if Giants respond, or do they just keep this 1-3-1 going?
I think they'll both at the same time, Para. I think they can just format
multitasking.
G2 are that good.
They can do it at once.
They're going to force the Baron pressure with the 1-3-1. PerkZ is just going to peel off. Step 1 is obviously deny vision. Well, step 1 is push your lanes. They pushed mid, they push top, and then you can do something. Let's follow it again here. Step 1 is push top, and then you can poke the turret if you want to, or you move into enemy jungle, get something.
There we
Giants
go.
Looking for an engage.
Trying to do it. Let's see if they can make it happen. Shadow Assault, and they're looking for Zven. Do they have the damage exhaust on Knight? But Flaxxish comes around and claims the kill with a big barrel on top of the head of the AD carry. Mithy gets an ultimate out of PerkZ right now. Memento going a little bit low, but this fight has gone hectic. Mithy's back up. PerkZ going in. Trick is stopped for just a second by HeaQ, who's running away from the barbecue. Let's see if Flaxxish can live through this one, though. It doesn't look like it, and PerkZ claims a kill. That's a 1-for-1 in the extended fight.
But it was actually a great fight from Giants, honestly. They found the one opening they could. They get the teleport. It was a little bit of hubris from G2. They knew this was coming. You saw how quick Zven was on the flash. He totally expected Giants to try and engage right there. The problem was, expect teleport was incredibly late. There was this communication, this false sense of security for G2 where they're like, no, this is fine, we can take it, and suddenly wham bam, body slam came in from the right side.
Yeah. Giants, they managed to trade 1-for-1, but they do lose another turret in the process, and the waves are still pushing against them. But when you're this far behind, you got to keep making plays, and kudos to this Giants team for not rolling over.
Yeah, every move from G2 is the right move right now. So like we have to criticize them. Like that teleport from Expect should have been slightly faster. Obviously, this is in a world where they're 8,000 gold ahead at 23 minutes, so they did everything right. I'm just looking for a little bit of extra polish.
Yep. Well, I don't know if they're going to break that record for the fastest game because that was just set a little earlier in the split, rather. A little bit earlier today, but 23.5 minutes, they're definitely looking pretty polished. It is a 10,000 gold advantage now, still growing, but G2 still making minor mistakes, but they can get away with it.
Yeah, let's check Mithy here. So they have the vision. They're not pushing too fast. Look how they're waiting for all 5 members to be on the map. They're waiting for Trick to show up. HeaQ has no mana, so he has to be careful.
But he does have a Memento. Let's see if they're able to get the outplay. No, it's going to be the back off from PerkZ. You saw that one coming.
Yeah, super comfortable right now for G2 to start playing on the bottom side of the map. They see so much tension and pressure on top side to kind of deny the Baron vision. They can actually just walk down the bottom lane whenever they want, take their 2 as well.
Yeah, who needs the Baron right now? Mithy's sitting comfortably in this jungle. Expect drawing pressure from Flaxxish to try and counter push the minion wave, but they just keep slowly etching away at these turrets, and there's not a lot Giants can really do. Trying to play this pick composition, only 2 kills on Knight in this game, and it's a hard comp to play, but it's always hard to play against G2.
Yeah, no, I like this vision setup. Again, they're not tunneled or focused too much on the Nashor because they don't have a real tank with them. And Expect this in the bottom lane, so it takes them quite a while to do that Baron right now. So they say, you know what, let's just take another tier 2 bottom lane. 25 minutes, we don't need to rush the Baron. Take it quite slow.
Nope, keep firing multi-arrows there. Zven's honestly going to be left alone to finish the job. Giants, though, they're trying to force a Baron.
They just started PerkZ TP or walk back to the mid lane. He has double bomb. He can make their life a living hell.
Okay, well, there's one bomb on. Now, the moment of truth here. Can Giants grab the big purple worm? G2 are closing in. There's Caitlyn traps around. The Ashe arrow's not going to connect, though, but there's the bomb damage. The Baron's helping out. In comes Mithy. Hustlin, he's going low. It's going to get smited by Giants, but will there be anyone left to keep it on? Memento's trapped in the pit. He gets kicked out, followed by Trick Up. That is 3 quick kills picked up by G2.
He made it out.
He did it.
The sole survivor that G2 sent back to the base to tell them about the horrors that went on in the Baron pit.
Yeah, but they deny the Baron potentially, or deny the Baron from G2, but G2, they're more than comfortable to just push against this Baron empowered wave here.
Yeah, Baron helps you push, but if they're all dead, I think you can just walk the creeps in there. Let's see what Flaxxish can do here, but this is looking pretty grim for Giants.
Well, let's see if Giants can hold the line right now. Hustlin's coming up in about 4 seconds. HeaQ and Flaxxish don't want any part of this G2 death ball. Inhibitor number 1 is going to go down very shortly. They finish the job. One more auto attack from Zven, and G2 will not push their luck, backing out.
And again, at this point in the game, Giants are making all the right calls. They go in for the hard engage top, they go for the cross-map Baron, they have to try it. The problem is, there are no good solutions left. You come to a point where you've given away too much, whether it's in draft or in the early game, that you actually can't do anything, barring major throws by your opponents.
G2, not prone to doing that in the European LCS especially, and honestly the experience gap's just so huge. You look at the players of Giants, and a lot of them having come in fairly recently, or coming into the start of the split rather, you have like 3 new members right on this Giants team compared to G2 that kept everything all together. Here's this Baron play again. Yeah,
and you see PerkZ is not flashing into Fog of War, right? Like this guy he's not trying to double bomb steal the Nashor. He knows like it's fine if you lose Nashor. It's still a 50-50 with Trick here. He goes a little bit too early because every Giants member stops dealing damage to it, so that's good. Eventually Memento steals it with his smite, but then they know they can clean up, so they're looking ahead. And that is the great thing about G2 Esports as a team. They are always planning ahead domestically. Problem is, when the pace of the game is so fast, or you're playing versus opponents that also are planning a minute and a half and get ahead, and maybe even 2 minutes, that's when you run into issues, when they're countering your proactive plays.
Well, G2 aren't having that trouble right now, but we'll see. These guys are looking ahead to the playoffs. They're looking to shore up their play as much as possible, and moving on potentially for internationals. But back into this game, still looking to close this one out.
Cheeky little flank coming from Flaxxish. He's looking for a body slam onto Zven here.
Memento's here, but Trick's going to spy him out. Knight takes down Zven. Maybe this is the chance for Giants. They found Mithy, whose anchor does not connect where he wants it to right now.
God, we keep moving them walls, Pyra. That was
that's a double kill for Knight, though. I mean, this has got to be Giants looking to push now.
Look, man, sometimes when you're confident and you win every game, sometimes you believe your anchor is just a little bigger than it actually is in reality, and that is the reality check for Mithy right now. He has to come to terms with the fact that he's just playing with a slightly smaller anchor.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's still weighing him down a little bit.
Yeah.
Giants will be able to get a tower in the mid. That's only their second of the game. They had an opening, but look what Trick's doing. Pinging down on the bottom side. Hey, there's a big minion wave. Maybe I can knock down an inhib turret.
And this was Giants planning that move because Flaxxish was hiding in that brush for a while rather, and you could see him like have the play in his head. He told his teammates, and then Flaxxish and Knight were honestly on the same frame. They attacked Zven here, so that's a really good engagement by Giants.
Okay, HeaQ chasing Trick off. So Giants, yeah, they found the play. They found what they needed to, but is it too little? Is it too late? 10,000 gold down. I mean, it's honestly been G2's game to lose for a long time here, but Knight, 2 crucial kills. That's some much needed gold for the Talon.
Yeah, we're looking at G2 putting the dots on the I. So far, they've misplaced them. Put a dot on an A or
need to give him a new form.
On a G, yeah.
Knight's kicked around.
Another sheet of paper.
One more time. Requesting a do-over. The G2 definitely looking for the end game here. Trick has been a big part of it. Mithy's going to get caught one more time. Doesn't need the anchor, though. He's tanky enough.
That's why you play tanks. For your support.
It's okay if you face check.
Yep.
Prepo approved, right?
Yep, it's my job. I'm just doing my job here, guys. Taking some damage, soaking.
I do the same thing up top lane. I like to play myself some tanks. I get involved. Get in people's face without dying too much.
They're dirty Poppy player?
No, Shen, actually.
Shen.
It's a secret. No one bans him in silver.
Yeah. Do you actually teleport to your lanes? Or you just,
yeah. No, I'll stand united.
Yeah.
That's what you do. And that's one of the reasons Shen's been banned so much. And Giants, they unfortunately couldn't get too much out of that Baron power play. They didn't have a whole lot of people alive for it. So it's kind of excusable.
It's a grim -30.
Yeah. Oh, well, you compare the average.
This is like the participation trophy for Baron power plays. Hey, at least you tried.
Well, and that's, I mean, honestly, for Giants, the fact that they didn't give up when the game snowballed out of control so fast is admirable against such a difficult opponent right now. They're trying to hang tough, but, close to 30 minutes on the game time. G2 are looking to end this one.
Yeah, they're pushing in all 3 lanes at once here. G2 always having Trick in support, matching one of the carries that needs to push in. I think PerkZ has been doing a great job, has not been picked off. Historically speaking, in summer, PerkZ was having issues playing on side lanes with carries, going for the play, the kill, way too often. And right now we see him play Zilean with teleport in a more supportive function, not getting the highlight plays, still performing.
See if they're able to get some highlights here, but G2, they get themselves out with the redemption as well. And that's a good point. PerkZ has honestly been very vocal about his focus on team play and improving his mechanics so he doesn't make first off, improving his mechanics, but also improving his decision-making so he doesn't get stuck in those bad play moments.
And he actually talked about that a little bit at the start of the season where he was focused so much on the team play that he was neglecting his mechanics. He was so busy of looking at the bigger picture that he forgot how to play some matchups here, but he's definitely shored that up, put in the hours, put in the work, and I think he's become a more well-rounded player, a lot more consistent as well.
Yeah. Back to being the top mid laner in Europe as well, and well, let's see if he can keep it going right now. Bombs on.
And when you see that Yomus, when you hear that sound, you know Knight's trying to come for you, so good back off from G2. Mid lane inhib spawns again, looking to take that out.
Yeah, rotating right in, Mithy and PerkZ on the front. Just keep poking away at it here, and you can see where Expect is. He's looking to rotate around on the top side.
Yeah.
Giants scrambling to defend their base.
Expect to lean mid for just a second to see if you need to put an equalizer. Right now the top lane tower is chunked. If you're not moving to bottom lane, they could split up again here or just brute force. It is taking quite a while here.
Yeah, but G2 are playing this one out safe, right? They have every advantage, but they don't want to get wiped and give Giants a chance to get back into this game, especially with the Baron just a minute away.
Yeah, if there's ever time to throw, it is literally like 40 seconds before Ashe spawns, because a fight usually takes you like, what, 20, 30 seconds before everything's done, 10 seconds travel time, that would be the red carpet, straight into the game for
5
Giants.
seconds to ping, GG go Ashe, right? Yep. Yeah, that's how it goes. So G2, they're not going to take
Takes you 5 seconds to ping in silver?
Yeah. Well, I play with lag. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, the Berlin disgusting lag spike, 40 MS.
Oh, it does happen at the worst times.
It does indeed.
Yeah, well, GG Berlin Internet, but that's okay. Right here on the LAN, these guys have the mechanics to make it work.
8 ping. Have you ever played on the LAN?
A couple times. Done a few play tests myself. Oh man, it feels good.
It's a lot quicker. I miss that. It makes me miss Korea, man.
Yeah?
Korea plays LAN every game because they have 8 ping. Or 9, depending where you're
Oh, that's a big difference, right?
Faker's like, nah, man, I can't play on this.
Only at the OGN Studios. All right, PerkZ is making a walk down once again, sitting on this side lane. Baron is live, so you can see G2 making a show of force, getting the vision cleared out. And honestly, they've just been so on the up and up here. They might just be able to rush this one down, but they're not going to do it. Keep them controlled, keep them cool heads.
They can actually do it from the pit. Obviously, Giants know this is a bait. They just have to respect it. They just have to check. They know they can't not check. So they're going for vision denial here. And
Baron's procced.
they're just starting it. Ooh.
Oh boy, this is risky.
bold, to say the least. But I like it. You know, if you're going to go out with a bang, Pyra.
Might as well. Blaze of Glory, Giants, they're going to start backing off as Trick takes the Sonic Wave in. Giants have backed away. Mithy on the front line, but HeaQ is isolated from the rest of the team. He's going to have to flash. Depth charge goes in. There's bombs up, but they got the heals now. Memento in the front. Here comes Knight on the side. Can he get a pick off? I don't know if that's going to happen. The 5v5 is G2 territory. Knight does get one pick up off to Zven, but HeaQ has already fallen. Memento, Knight way too low involved, and Flaxxish is going down to Mithy. Yeah. Looks like it's G2's.
G2 takes it. Zven has to be mad. He has to wonder, like, where did that revive go? Was it Mithy that went down there? I saw somebody got revived, but then Zven got attacked right after.
Yep. Unlucky, unfortunately, for Zven, but the rest of G2 are having no such problems. Knight is hastily backing away, and G2, they decide they don't need the Baron. Why not? Let's go right into the base.
But it was actually a GA that we saw from animation-wise from Flaxxish, so PerkZ just sold his AD carry, man. KDA player looking for that MVP trophy.
Wow, sabotage, unfortunately, on the side of G2, but, you know, they're still looking quite flawless right now. It's 33.5 minutes, and now that they've broken the base once again up top, they're going to head towards Baron.
Yeah, poor little HeaQ, stuck on the outside. He was like, guys, we're fighting. Team hello. And then he had to flash out. The arrow was absorbed, I think, by Flaxxish, and that was the guy who in the end popped his GA. Let's watch this again. So like, HeaQ is trying to do damage to Mithy from the side. He realizes he's Caitlyn and behind, so he's not doing any damage. And then follow the revive. It is Flaxxish that goes down. And then Zven takes aggro, takes more aggro, and PerkZ is just, he's on the side, man, killing HeaQ instead of peeling for his AD carry. He values killing the opposing AD carry more than saving Zven.
Yeah, at least that's the same thing as, that's one thing that's the same in my solo queue games, so I can at least get that experience there. Hustlin just gets chased down at the end, flash from expect. I mean, honestly, when you're this far ahead, you can make these plays happen. Giants, they tried a bold move, it backfired.
Yeah, and even when you're not ahead, if you group up versus a Rumble comp and a Zilean, they control choke points so well. Any double bomb connecting, lost fight. Any equalizer should guarantee you a lost fight. Knight had an opening right there, he found Zven, but usually Zven would get revived there. So even on an even matchup, that would be a horrible spot for Giants to fight.
G2 still not pushing over the top because they know they have two downed inhibitors, one in the top, one in the mid. Giants, though, are pushing up in force to try and keep G2 on their toes here. These guys will not die without a fight. Flaxxish gets bombed and stunned, and the Baron is going down to half health here. G2, are they going to turn off it? Are they going to keep committing? Memento's around the side looking for a steal, but Trick finds him, forces the rappel up and out. And now Flaxxish, Mithy, everyone trying to hold the line. Redemption comes out, but is it too little? Is it too late? The bomb's on, the damage is there. Trick picks up the Caitlyn, and G2 holding firm in this 5v5. Knight's going to have to parkour the wall. I don't think he's getting out alive either. Memento and Hustlin being chased down 1v2 by Trick. The blast cone's taken. Trick's still hunting, though.
Yeah, he is just looking for the stall. Memento trying to get some jungle creeps to reach, and in the end, it's not enough. G2 looking to play the game. They poise themselves well. They look for Knight on the flank. This time, PerkZ was always ready with the revive, and then eventually they turn around on the weak side of Giants, and they demolish them in this team fight.
Superior execution, and they will not just demolish them in this fight, they will school them, taking the game here, finishing off the last Nexus turret. Let the Winions do the job. G2 wipe their hands and get ready for round two as they have taken a big lead in this series.
Dirty KDA players, Pyra. Look at what they're doing here. Poor Hustlin, he just wants the game to end.
Oh man, now that is just BM. Expect is picking up an unstoppable kill. G2 Esports on the victory.
Yeah, you can see it, you know. In darker times, you can see the true tendencies of EU solo queue come back. KDA playing, PerkZ, he was like, nah, I'm not going to save my AD carry. I just need another kill.
Yeah.
A couple of fountain dives here. But yeah, super fantastic early game from G2. They played everything right. They completely dismantled Giants at no point in the game were they under pressure. And then we were just kind of talk about the game. We look at the gold, and suddenly it's 8,000 in the lead so early on for G2.
And it just kept going. I mean, usually Giants are able to hold on at least 10 minutes into this game before really falling far behind, but you can just see the big difference in how much pressure G2 were able to apply early on. And you know, this is some earlier aggression rather than them kind of taking a step back, what they were doing earlier on in the split. It's nice to see this in-your-face aggression without overcommitting.
Yeah, and you see also the value in just efficient pathing, especially Trick early on. Despite a couple members dying and a couple of river deaths right there, this guy goes into the enemy jungle and he steals everything away from him.
Yeah, just took it all away, and G2 back to business. They're just going to take a look back at, you know, hey, how do we do that? How can we make it a little bit better? Let's get from an S- to an S+.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's quite a few phases in the game that are worth showing. G2 probably shouldn't have closed as slowly as they did. They had a couple of overextensions, but they know. That's the cool thing about these coaches. Whenever you watch a G2 VOD review, if you ever get the privilege, like, they just put on the replay and the guys go instantly, yeah, no. I know, this is my bad. I've talked to Prolly often. When there's like really dumb stuff happening, he just puts up the replay and he just waits. He just
doesn't have to say anything.
Gives him some silence. And then these guys start like, no, Prolly, you don't understand. It was this and this and this and this. And it's actually a really fun environment.
Yeah, well, and the players, you know, they're critical. Honestly, sometimes people say you're the biggest critic of yourself. That's especially true when you're at the pro gamer level. You know what that's all about.
Nah, I was really cocky. That's why I ended up here, you know. It's all like this kind of self-reflection thing and not blaming your teammates. It wasn't really my style, you know.
Okay, well, it's always good we can have you on the desk instead, so it's nice.
I can still criticize other players.
Yeah,
you know?
There we go.
That's
it feels good, right?
As long as you stay close enough to them, it feels good. If you're dropping down to Diamond 1, you lose a lot of credibility over
I thought you got back to Masters.
We're down again.
Okay. Changes every
I'm on my way to you,
week.
Pyro. I heard about the wondrous life in Silver where it takes 5 seconds to ping an Asher and you have all the liberty to play Shen.
Hey, I told you that was lag.
I'm going to come lag with you in Silver.
Okay. Well, sometimes the lag's up here, unfortunately. But enough about my play. I mean, it was just so impressive to see the way G2 is doing it. But for a closer look at the mid lane Game 1, we're going to hand it over to Vedius and Sencooks.
Thank you very much, Pyra. Sencooks and I are going to break down some mid lane plays from Game 1. So thank you once again for being here with me, Sencooks. We had an extremely riveting matchup between Zilean and Talon. So I'm going to start off. Can you please tell me a little bit about that matchup? And if you are the Talon, what are your expectations? What are your plans for that game?
I mean, I will look to roam a lot. I don't think Zilean should be able to contest the push that much unless he hits a lot of bombs. So I think in general, Talon should just come out to the lane, and after 6, he should look to roam with his E. It's really easy for him to rotate through lanes, and I think in general he should get a lead on other lanes and not that much on himself.
Okay, so the goal for Talon really should be to not focus on his own lane, but to look around the map. And our first replay that we're going to look at early on actually is where he gets his first advantage. So I want you to break down exactly what Knight didn't do well here that you think he could do better.
I think in general, when he throws his W, he's going a bit too forward. So I think in this line...
Ooh.
Oh, that was the bubble. You got it on the line.
Yeah.
On this line, I don't think he should cross this line ever and go to Q him, because he needs his W back and forth because he doesn't have ult yet. So he needs to proc his passive, which requires 3 spells to hit. But what happens is that like he walks forward for a Q that we will see. You can clear it. He walks forward for a Q, doesn't get his passive. He gets greedy with his flash, which I think is a mistake in itself because he doesn't have anything to kill him with. And if he wants to flash after him, he should wait a bit for his cooldowns. So I think in general here it's a misplay and he shouldn't have to die. Even though they get Trig in the end, it should be a clean 1-0 for them.
So basically, when you're looking at Talon, you need to try and make sure that you land all 3 procs to make sure that he lets that passive, because that's where a lot of his damage comes from. So we wanted to look a little bit more at Knight in the mid lane on this Talon, because something that you mentioned actually is what he wants to avoid is taking a lot of these bombs. And I think that what we illustrate here is that most of the time he actually took a lot of these bombs throughout the game.
I think, yeah, in the middle of the laning phase from here on, from this point on and 2 minutes ahead, he takes way too many bombs and he gets way too poked, and he should never get poked out of this lane in general. Like, if you're Zilean and you're really happy with this laning phase, how it went, I think PerkZ can be more than happy about his performance, about hitting bombs left, right, and center. I think in general, Talon should stay healthy, look to avoid the bombs, even use Q and minions to maybe dodge them. And then he should look to just push the wave and roam around. But what happens instead is that he gets hit by so many bombs, like here's another one, and then he gets poked down. And he doesn't have any vision on the top side of the map, as you can see. So it looks like right now that he's a bit pressured by Elise, and that's also a problem that he will like get very far behind in the CS, and then Trig could just go into the lane after he gets hit by another bomb and they get a free mid tower.
And this is one of the big issues that they had in this game, because as you rightly said, the expectations of Knight was very much that we wanted to see him making map plays on the side lane, but because he took so much harassment in the mid lane, it really stymied his ability to have any effect anywhere else.
Yeah, I think in general, Trig and PerkZ played it really well about pressuring mid and not making sure that Talon stays in mid lane, that he doesn't roam around. It's kind of like a TF in a way, that you don't want to let him snowball these side lanes, but he's not going to be that strong if he gets ahead. I mean, Talon gets a bit stronger if he gets ahead, but he didn't get any lane leads because it's really hard to kill a Zilean after 6.
Makes sense. So our final replay, I want to get your insight, your thought process in one of these big fights. So let's say that you're Knight here, you're Talon. Now, what is your pathing? What's your idea behind how do you want to get into this fight, and what exactly do you want to do in this fight?
I think in general, if I haven't jumped over the Baron pit wall here, I would probably like jump over the wall and look to get Ashe and Rumble down here that you will see will be split. But if he doesn't have that, it seemed like he had it on cooldown, but we can't really see that. Then I will roam around here and you will look to still go on the Ashe, but he jumps over the wall, gets into the Baron pit, so he still has a good position behind them. And then he can proc his ulti with a Q or an auto attack, and the ult will go on Ashe. And what you will see is that Ashe will pretty much get one shot in this fight, and that's how he should look to play every fight. Sadly, they are a bit too far behind, and HeaQ gets one shot by 2 bombs from PerkZ, so it's really hard to play this this kind of fights for Talon, but I think in general he played this fight very clean. He also gets out alive, but sadly for him, the rest of his team is dead.
So basically what we're looking for is to try and get onto the backline. So if we roll the clip out, Senkuk's highlighted a great way in which you can do that. It was obviously a great team play as well, because we see a fantastic setup for Zven getting knocked into the warm embrace of Talon. But this is typically what you want to aim to do in a lot of these fights, right? Try and get this flanking positioning off so that you can come in from a side where no one can see you and then immediately dive onto that big damage threat.
Yeah, then you one-shot him, you'll proc Storm Raiders, and you jump over walls very quickly, and you can look like a little parkour monkey, and you can jump around the map and get away from free kills.
So it was a pretty one-sided game. If you're Giants now and you're 1-0 down, what are your thoughts coming into game 2?
I think in general, they should try maybe something different that they practice for the week. I don't know if they have anything, like, obviously I don't watch the scrims, but they should try to play a bit of a style like this, I think, a bit of risk playing Talon and roam around and get early leads and snowball it from there, because I don't think their macro play is at the level of G2's.
Very fair. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll have the second game between Giants and G2.